welcome or welcome back to the Catherine Crochets podcast. It's been several months since my last episode. Summer holidays got in the way first. I think the last time I filmed was July. Then we had the summer holidays, which always throws me a bit having the girls around. And then in the autumn, it was just a really busy time for us because we've actually moved house. You might notice I'm in a different room to where I previously filmed. That's because we moved house, so that takes a long time too, but things are a bit more settled now. It's January, Christmas is out of the way, and I'm really excited to get back into podcasting again and sharing with you what I've been up to. So I won't do a full recap of everything that I've worked on since last July because we'd be here all day. So I'm just going to share with you what the sort of active projects on the go are at the moment, and then we'll take it from there and move forward with those with the future episodes. So I've got 3 projects that I'm working on at the moment. Four projects that I'm working on at the moment that I'm going to share with you today. And I've also been sent a new crochet book to review, so I'll share that with you later on as well and show you what's in it, in case that's of interest to you. Feeling a little bit rusty about talking to you all at the camera, and I feel like this is coming across quite awkwardly, but hopefully I'll relax into it a bit more as we go along. I've had several retakes so far, but I'm just going to try and crack on now with the projects, and we'll see where we get. So in no particular order, the first project I'm going to share with you is a new hat design that I've been working on. I've made 2 of them, and the pattern has been written up and is currently out for testing, and here it is. It's called the Lighten Up Beanie, because the colours go from dark to light as you work up the hat. It's made from the bottom up as well. Obviously you could choose a darker colour at the top, but I also liked it because I've got another beanie pattern called the Down the Line beanie, and I thought it felt like a kind of nice pairing to have a down the line and a lighten up down opposites. Anyway, it's made with tapestry crochet. Well, these few rounds here use tapestry crochet, and the whole thing, the whole bit of the hat is made with extended double crochet stitches, or extended single crochet if you prefer US terms, and then it's got double crochet in the back loop ribbing around the bottom. And I've made this one, which the yarn was some yarn that I was sent to try from We Are Knitters, and it's called the Baby Wool. It's 100% baby alpaca, and it's really, really soft. There's a bit of the blue left over. So the blue is called Spotted Blue, and then the sort of pinky mauvey colour is called Spotted Mauve. They're not really, I mean, they're not spotty, obviously. I don't even think there's really much of a sort of a speckle to them. I mean, they're lovely, I love them, but the name Spotted sort of, I think it would imply that they'd be a bit spottier than that, but they're not really. But they're lovely. So I made that one, and then they also sent me, well, they said I could choose a few balls, so I chose 2 other colours as well. This hat is finished, but I just need to sew in the ends. I think these colours don't suit me at all, but I think I like the look of this hat more because there's just the contrast between the bottom darker colour and the whitey cream at the top. It's just much crisper. I think that looks really good, but I'm gonna have to find someone who can wear these colours. So this bottom colour is called Canyon Rose, and the top one is called, I think it's just called Natural. Let's see if I can find. No. Yeah, the white one is just called Natural. Yeah, I was really pleased with the yarn, and I had this idea for a beanie. So when We Are Knitters got in touch and asked if I wanted to try some of their yarn, I knew that I wanted to choose yarn that I'd use to make this beanie with. So this is, like I said, it's 100% baby alpaca. I don't think I mentioned the weight, did I? It's a DK weight yarn. So obviously you could swap it for any other DK weight yarn. You don't have to use alpaca. You could just use acrylic or another wool. Something soft and cozy though would be good. So the pattern is out with my testers who are testing it at the moment. Some of them have finished, but they've got a few more days if they haven't to finish it off. And then I'm hoping to release the pattern next week. So if you'd like to get the pattern, do feel free to sign up to my email list. I'll pop the link in the description underneath, and you'll be notified when the pattern is released next week. And I also share a discount code with my email list that's bigger than any discount code I share anywhere else. And you get 2 free patterns when you sign up, plus a monthly newsletter from me. So it's well worth signing up. So that is the Lighten Up Beanie. This one's still a whip because I have to weave in the ends. Now I'm just kind of picking these projects at random really, and I'm going to show you this one next. It is a really big one, and this is the Gingerbread Blanket, which was a crochet-along designed by Lottie and Albert in collaboration with Sirdar, and it was their Christmas blanket crochet-along. So it started middle of October and ran for 6 weeks. You got a new bit of the pattern each week, but you don't have to finish it in 6 weeks. You can take as long as you want. And some people did finish it in 6 weeks. Some people finished it by Christmas. I hoped to finish it by Christmas, but I didn't. So I've been working on it since then. Now it's massive. So I might have to move the camera back in a moment so you can see it all. It's still not quite finished, but it is its full size, and I'll explain to you what I still need to do in a moment. So I'll show it to you in sections here on the film, and then I'll put in a photo. I think I'll probably put in, because I haven't got a decent photo of the full thing, I'll put in the corner a photo of what the finished blanket looks like, because I'm doing it exactly to the pattern. Well, I'll explain to you what I'm not doing actually in a moment, or possibly not doing, but I'll pop in a photo of what the finished blanket looks like from Lottie and Albert, not mine. So around the edge, starting with the last bit really, it's got this fun sort of fringe. They do kind of, I might have to block them or something to get them to stand outwards, but you sort of twist your yarn and get it to kind of form a spiral. So it's got red and white on 2 sides opposite each other, and then this sort of light and dark green on the other side. So the theme is gingerbread house. It's got a gingerbread house in the middle. You've probably seen it before. And I think the theme is also inspired by, I might have misremembered, but I've got a feeling sort of like Christmas biscuit tins as well. So it's hugely colourful and Christmassy. It's got these lights, Christmas lights around it. Then it's got what are called Christmas jumper panels, which have got bubbles and V-stitch. So they've got these colours top and bottom, and then this lighter colour. Then there's around the 4 corners, there's these candy cane peppermint swirls. Can't remember what they called them, but like kind of sweets. So there's 2 in opposite corners in those colours, and then a pink and red one in opposite corners. Then there's this round, which is a gingerbread biscuit round. Some, can't remember what you call this stitch. Is it sort of like block stitch, granny stitch? It's not really quite granny, is it? Might be block stitch. And then it's finished off with the tassels. So that is the full size blanket, but the bits that I still have to do are weaving in lots and lots of ends. I have made a start, but I didn't weave in any as I went because I was just so keen to get on to the next section. So there's lots of ends still to sew in on the back. The gingerbread house, mine is still completely plain and it needs decorating. So I've made, there's a door to go on it and a window. I've made them, I just need to sew them on. And then there's also with surface crochet some sort of Christmas lights around the roof of the house. So I've got that to go on. There's also, and this is the bit that I might deviate from the pattern and not include. So this gingerbread round, using surface crochet, you're supposed to do different coloured bobbles, sort of spots all the way, well, spaced, I think, sort of in a kind of alternating zigzaggy type pattern around. So because of the way they're done, each bobble would have 2 ends to sew in, which would add, of course, to the total number of ends that I already have a lot. And also the blanket, so that's my main reason for not doing them really. But another reason is I don't think it really necessarily needs them. I think it looks really nice as it is. And it's not necessarily to everyone's taste, but it's Christmas, isn't it? So you can go a bit crazy and wild at Christmas. You know, it's got lights, there's going to be more decoration on the house, there's already bubbles and swirls and tassels. So I think not adding the coloured dots on this gingerbread round isn't really gonna, it's not gonna look bad, they're not gonna be missed. So hopefully, I've got lots of things I want to do. It shouldn't take too long really to add the door and the window. I should just get on and do it. And if I don't do it soon, it's just going to be hanging around. It's not Christmas anymore, is it? It's going to be hanging around the lounge for ages. So hopefully next time I talk to you, and hopefully it won't be as long as it was last time, I'll be able to tell you that the blanket's finished, the door and the window are on, and all the ends are sewn in. I think I might, maybe I'll make myself just sew in sort of 10 ends every day before I do any other more fun crocheting, and then just get it done that way rather than do them all in one go, which is less appealing really, isn't it? So that's the gingerbread blanket. I've really enjoyed making it. I mean, I think I said in one of my posts on Instagram that what if I could think of one word to sum up making this blanket, it was fun. And I mean, even if you don't love the design, if it's a bit much for you, just if you like crochet, it was just so much fun to make because each week had a different technique. So you started with the house and you do this, I'm going to call it block stitch, but I might be completely wrong, and with a bit of intarsia to get the house. You've got these, I think they're called a shell stitch or a fan stitch, something like that, border. You didn't crochet it all in this order, although if you waited you could do now because the whole pattern's released, but the way it was done week by week, I think the lights were perhaps left till a bit later on because they were a little bit more fiddly to do. So the lights were done with intarsia. The lights themselves are post stitches, so they're a bit sort of 3D. I'm not sure if you can see that from here. Then surface crochet to make the wiggly cord joining them all. You've got V-stitch and bubbles. Then a bit of tapestry crochet for the red and white stripes and the swirls, which were a lot of fun to make. Then some ripples around here, a bit more block stitch, and then this really fun edging. So it was just so many different fun techniques. Each week it was something different, which just made the whole process really enjoyable to do. So yeah, I definitely recommend making this blanket if you fancy it, and the pattern's available for free. I think anyone can get it at any time. There were lots of video tutorials as well to help with all the techniques if you needed them. I think they're all still available too, although I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, and it just makes a really fun Christmas blanket. So that will definitely be coming out. If it's finished, it should be next year when we're watching Christmas films and things for people to keep cozy underneath. So the next project I'm going to talk to you about is one I only started 2 days ago now, and it is a pattern test for my lovely friend Emma at MSC Makes, and it is called the Isla Scarf. I've not quite finished it yet. I think it's called the Isla Scarf Mini or Mini one. I'm not sure if she's going to release a bigger version as well, but it is this I'm just over halfway, so I think it's going to be about 1 meter long by the time it's finished, but it's very narrow, very long. It's got a really lovely drape, just making sure I'm showing you the right way around. It's got a lovely texture. It's got this kind of ridged detail going across on the stitches, really nice edging. So you start at one end where it's very thin, and then very slowly increase every 8 rows up to the middle, and then decrease back down to the other side. And then you wear it obviously around your neck, and I think sort of like, I can't obviously tie it, but I think the idea is you sort of tie one end like that, so it'll look like a little just a small kind of chic scarf to wear. So I'm making this one with what's it called, it's a sock yarn. So the pattern calls for 4-ply yarn, and I'm using, I had this left over from some socks. It is socks, yeah, from Coop Knits, and it is in the colour Topaz. So it's bluey green colour, which I make a lot of things in this colour. It's one of my favourite colours. And then I'm going to make a second one as well, because I found, when I was looking for some yarn to use, I found this in my stash, which doesn't look like I've used much of it, but I have started it. But this is West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in cherry drops. I think I'm going to make a red one as well. Not sure really whether I can wear red around my neck, well, we'll see, but I just thought fancied one in red as well. So I'm going to make another one, because it is really lovely pattern to work up, very relaxing. You do need to keep count of what row you're on, so you know when to do the increases. And I think Emma suggested using a row counter, like one of the little gadgets that I think you click, or an app, or she said a pencil and paper works just as well. And for me, I'm very much a pencil and paper person, so I'm just using a pencil and paper to keep tally of which row I'm on, and make sure I don't miss when I'm supposed to be increasing or now decreasing. But yeah, so this one I'll probably finish it off tonight and then make a start on the other one. And I think Emma's probably planning on releasing the pattern pretty soon, so keep an eye on her on Instagram, or she's on YouTube as well, if you want to see when that pattern comes out. And like I say, it's called the Isla Scarf, or Isla Scarf Mini. So the final project I have to share with you is another whip, and it is another Crochet-Along, although this one I'm deviating much more completely really from the suggested colours and yarn. And this is, I'm making a Canal boat blanket, which is Lucy at Attic 24, her Crochet-Along this year. But I'm doing mine as a stash busting, so I'm using completely different colours to the suggested colours that Lucy had. So her colours are they're very bold reds and blues and pinks and yellows and greens, like the sort of colours you get on the painting on narrow boats, on canal boats. Whereas I'm doing mine stash buster, and I raided my stash and picked out lots of kind of earthy, natural, slightly muted colours. So the pattern itself, am I showing this to you the right way around? I can't remember. I think this is the front. So the pattern itself, you get, it's a free pattern, I'll pop the link below. You get each repeat, you get a row of just treble or double crochet in US terms. Then you get another row of treble in a first colour, this kind of shell, and then you do another row in the same colour again to kind of enclose it, so you sort of get this dotted flowery pattern along, and then you do a row in another colour before repeating that shell bit again. So I quite like the colours when I picked them. I did a few rows, wasn't quite 100%, and it looks, these colours look completely different when I'm working on this in the evening under an electric light compared to in daylight. I think they look much nicer in daylight, so it's always nice in the morning to see what it actually looks like compared to what it looked like when I was working on it in the evening. But I'm quite happy with the colours. So what I've got is the way I want the stripes to be random. So I've got 2 bags. I put all of the wool in this bag to start with, then put my hand in, pulled out a colour, and then when I've used it for the stripe in the blanket, I'm putting it in this bag. So this bag, I mean, it's not all going to fit, it's pretty full now, but hopefully I'll just squidge the last few in, and obviously as the blanket goes, the balls will get smaller. But I've got, oh, you can't really see, got the pattern in there, but there's a few balls left to add. And then once I've added them all once, I think I'll probably tip the bag out, mix it all up on the floor, put all the balls back in the bag, and then work through all of them again. So I should get completely random stripes. Few people commented and said that if they were doing this method, they might find it hard to be strict and do the colour that they picked out of the bag. They might think, oh, no, actually I don't want that one. I'll put it back and choose another one. I'm trying to be really good and stick with them. And sometimes, for example, like these ones, when I pulled them out, they looked quite similar. And I think, well, it's this brown one, when I pulled it out, it looked quite similar. But actually, I think I still like that. And I like that some stripes are kind of more contrasting than others. And also I got like 2 greens close together. But next time round, all the colours, I might not. So I think I am going to stick with this method of doing the stripes and just see what happens, and hopefully it will all look okay in the end. And this is, you don't really have to think too much with this pattern. Once you've learned it, it's really easy to remember, and you can just look back a couple of rows to see what you did if you can't remember exactly. But so it's really relaxing and lovely to work on. So this is going to be a slow project. Well, I say that, I'm enjoying it so much, I'm working on it quite a bit, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself to sort of do it during the time of the crochet-along. I'm just going to take my time, and it'll be finished when it's finished. What's interesting about this pattern, to me anyway, is that normally with stripes you work back and forth, but actually on this one you do, can't remember which ones they are. I know I can now. So you do this, well, I'll show you on this section, you do this bottom stripe here on the wrong side, and then this row, and this row are all worked on the right side, so starting from the same end, and then you do a wrong side row again, and then 3 all from the same end as a right side row. I think I'm showing you the back, aren't I? That's the front. But it's the same thing. So you do this row on the wrong side, then this row, this row, this row, all on the right side. Which I've not made a blanket like that before, so that was fun. So I'm really enjoying that one. So that's the Canal boat blanket from Lucy at Attic 24, and all of the patterns I'll pop, well, the ones that have got patterns released already, I'll pop links below in case you're interested in any of them and want to find them for yourselves. So that's it in terms of whips for now. Over the next week or so, I'm going to continue on those and hopefully get them finished off. I've got another whip on the go, which I haven't worked on for months, but I'm going to try and finish off at least 1 or 2 of those that I just showed you before getting that one out again. I did talk about it, I think, in the last podcast episode last July, so I really haven't worked on it I have worked on it a bit since then, but not much. It's the red starry shawl wrap that I'm making, so I'm going to get that back out again soon and work on that a bit more. I'm also working quite hard, spending quite a lot of time at the moment on a secret project which I can't tell you anything about. So obviously, as someone who likes to post pictures on Instagram and I'm filming a podcast, it'd be lovely if I could tell you about it, but I can't, so you're going to have to wait until later on this year to find out what that is. So yeah, I've got a knitting project actually that I'm about to start as well, but maybe next week. And as usual, there's always lots of other patterns that I see that I'm quite tempted by. The knitting project that I'd like to start is a sleeveless jumper, and it's made with Aran yarn, so I don't think hopefully it'll work up relatively quickly because it's not got sleeves and it's a relatively chunky yarn, so I'm looking forward to making that. I've got the yarn and the needles and the pattern and everything, but knitting always needs a bit more thought from me, because crochet projects I can just dive into, whereas knitting there's always like and just don't do it that often, so there's always probably a technique that I need to look up and find, so it needs space to be able to think and get going properly with that. I also saw a sock pattern. I've knitted quite a few socks last year, and I saw a sock pattern that I really liked the other day that I'd quite like to try, but I don't think I'll try and always only have one, if any, knitting projects on the go, otherwise I just don't make enough progress on them. So maybe I'll start a pair of socks after the jumper. So the only other thing I've got to talk to you about today is a book review, which is, this book was sent to me by the publishers David and Charles, I think. Although looking at the back it says it's from Search Press. I think they're linked together. So this is My Granny Square Wardrobe, and it was sent to me to review, and it's by Sam Sabido. And I can't remember her Instagram account off the top of my head, but I'll pop it on the screen. So if you want to see her on Instagram, it's been out for a little while. I think it might have come out in the autumn or late last year at some point. But obviously, as you can tell from the title, it's lots of clothes and accessories to make using granny squares. I did make a granny square jumper once before. It was the Revival sweater from HGDC, Heather HG Designs Crochet. She's called Heather HGDC, which was great. But this book looks really fun too. I don't think, some of them definitely aren't me, like I'm not ever going to make or wear a pair of granny square dungarees. That's just not me. But a lot of them, I think it depends on what colours you wear. This jumper's quite nice, but again, I don't think I'd wear something quite so bright and colourful as that. This bag could definitely see myself making and using though. That looks really good. There's a pair of granny square shorts as well in there. Again, not something I would wear, but this granny square top, which matches, not sure if I might wear that in a plain colour in the summer, do it all in one colour, an off-white, or maybe one of my daughters would like that. This looks nice as well. This is a cocoon cardigan. I think that would be nice, maybe just in some like neutral colours, maybe just 2 colours, or even just 1 colour. But that would be nice just for putting on in the evening, wouldn't it, and slouching around the house in. That would be really nice. And it says it's beginner, so they're all labelled beginner, intermediate, advanced. This is the bag. It's the Feel the Magic bag. That also looks nice. And a granny square hat for winter, which would be fun too, wouldn't it? Again, I wouldn't do it in those colours for me, but you can obviously change the colours of everything. So it's got everything you'd expect really from a crochet book. It's got like a technique section, definition of the stitches, explains how to work from charts to make a granny square, conversion US to UK crochet terms, how to choose your size, choosing your colours. So it's got quite a big help section at the beginning, and then yeah, and then it's got all the patterns. So there's a granny square dress as well. So there's lots and lots of ideas in here, lots of patterns, and I think even if the colours don't necessarily, I mean, you might love all these bright colours, but I think it's important to think, even if you don't like the colours straight away, you could obviously always make them in another colour. So I think if you're into making, if you like granny squares and you like making things you can wear or things for other people, I think this looks like a really, really fun book. So thanks very much to Search Press for sending this to me to review. So that's the end of the podcast today. I'm hoping to be back again, definitely not as long as last time. I'm wondering, I'll see how much I've got to talk about, how things progress over the next couple of weeks, because like I say, I'm spending quite a bit of time working on something that I can't actually share. So if I don't make much progress on the projects that I can share, then it'll be a little bit longer before I'm back. But I'm going to try and do at least every month, possibly more frequently if I find that I've made things that I can share with you, and maybe I'll just do some shorter episodes and try and come on a bit more often. I've also got ideas for more tutorials, that kind of video, and other content that I'm planning to film over the next few weeks to upload on here. So in addition to podcasts, hopefully the plan is that there will be a bit more content coming up as well, with tutorials, sort of general crochet discussion, that kind of thing, coming up, as well as my projects. So if you're interested in that, any of that, make sure you follow, and subscribe on here and like the videos. And it'd be lovely to hear a comment from you if you've enjoyed the video. Let me know what you've been working on, what you've been watching, where you've been watching from. I'd love to hear from you and have a chat. So yeah, take care. I hope you have a lovely few weeks until next time, and happy crocheting, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.